The description of Jesus as the Lamb is not unusual in the Bible. What is unusual is that his appearance is described as a lamb as though it had been slain. A lamb as though it had been slain. Underline that word slain. I would wager that in almost all the paintings you've ever seen of the resurrected Jesus, he has scars in his hands and maybe also in his side. But we forget those weren't the only scars the cross left him with. Notice this prophetic description found all the way back in Isaiah 52:14. It's on your outline. Just as many were astonished at you, so his visage, that means the external appearance of Jesus, his visage was marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. The idea is that Jesus was so disfigured, even on his face, by his crucifixion experience, the beatings, the pulling out of his beard, the scourging, that people couldn't bear to look at him. It was that disturbing to behold. And he didn't only suffer physically. The emotional, psychological, and spiritual torment was even worse. The fear and stress of knowing what was coming caused Jesus to sweat blood from his face in the Garden of Gethsemane. And in his darkest, most trying hour, he endured the anguish of being separated from his heavenly Father for the first time in eternity. On the cross, Jesus was forsaken, the Bible tells us, by his heavenly Father and the people he had created to know, love, and enjoy him. We have no idea. We have no concept of what Jesus went through for us. Nobody has ever been as scarred as Jesus was for you and for me. When represented in art, Jesus usually still has a beautiful face and an untouched body, but that's not what happened. All those scars are still with him in a way that was still discernible to John somehow. Do you remember when, after Jesus had been raised from the dead, Mary goes to the garden and encounters Jesus but doesn't recognize him? She thinks he's the gardener until she hears him speak and say her name. And then Jesus appears to the disciples while they're fishing. And when they find him cooking on the beach, John's gospel records this. Jesus said to them, "Come and eat breakfast." Yet none of the disciples dared ask him, "Who are you?" knowing that it was the Lord. You see, they knew in their spirits this man was Jesus, but he didn't look like Jesus. The experience of the cross left Jesus changed forever, scarred forever. It's been said that the only man-made things in heaven will be the scars on Jesus. That's why when John sees Jesus in heaven, he is a lamb as though it had been slain. Keep in mind that heaven is a place with many more dimensions than our current reality, and so you should not walk away from this text with the impression that Jesus will eternally appear grotesque as a lamb that has been killed. Revelation also describes his appearance as being like a lion, a man dressed in white, and several other things. And so apparently the dimensionality of heaven allows for all of that, possibly simultaneously. What we should take from this, write this down, is that Jesus' work on the cross left scars that will remain with him forever. Jesus' work on the cross left scars that will remain with him forever. And that work was so important, so central to everything, that we will be reminded of it every time we look at him. The cross defines Jesus in a profound and eternal way.